Where did that come from? You think the production people are just a little out of control at this point? Hi, I'm Christine Davies. Welcome back to my kitchen in Long Beach, California. And I have a feeling that this comes from last week when they decided we needed to do some location shots. I told them no more location shots. I'm a little afraid at this point with these guys that they're liable to drag me off to the Himalayas. I'm going to be milking a yak and doing something with yak cheese. And I don't think Philadelphia has a yak cheese out there yet. So all in all, I would much rather be in Philadelphia with my wonderful Philadelphia cream cheese. And speaking of Philadelphia cream cheese, the final segment I'm going to make in the dessert challenge is going to be the Mandarin cream express cake. So let's go ahead and get started. Everybody has a dessert recipe in their family that the whole family loves but nobody wants to make because it's so time consuming. Well, ours is called an orange cream tort. I got to thinking about the flavors in that tort and that there's got to be a simpler and easy way to put this thing together than a recipe that takes 2 days. So I came up with an idea. I used a lot of the ingredients from the original recipe and turned it into what I call a Mandarin cream express. And why do I call it express? Oh, cake's done. Because we're going to be utilizing things that are already available to us in any grocery store. You've seen these in the grocery store. These are called the little dessert cups and we've used them for strawberry shortcake. Well, today we're going to utilize them in our dessert. However, we're going to use these topsy-turvy. We're going to turn them upside down and we're going to fill them. And as you can see, they're a little ragged. We want to go ahead and get those cleaned up. So I'm going to put these on my cutting board and I'm going to trim these up. And then I'm going to show you what's next. Okay, as you can see, I'm trimmed up. This is the last one that I'm doing. I just want to cut off these edges because we want to try to have the tops and the bottoms as close to possible in size. And there's a reason for that because we're going to frost these. And so it's going to be a lot easier to frost. Also, once you finish that procedure on getting the edges off, you're going to want to take a fork and then you're going to want to prick these, okay? So just go ahead and just really prick these. And no, I'm not having a bad day, okay? But there's a reason for this. All right, I think we've done this well enough. So I'm going to put this back on my cookie sheet and I'm going to show you why. And I prick these so to be able to do the next step. And that is going to be our orange drizzle. And just as it implies, we're going to drizzle this orange mixture that I'm going to make over these cakes because that's going to make them extremely moist. So how do we make this orange drizzle? We're going to use 2 egg whites. We're going to use a cup of sugar. We're going to use a cup of orange juice, and it's got to be the real thing. And I'm using orange emulsion. I like the flavor, and you can find this at any bake supply shop. You're also going to need an egg beater, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to put my 2 egg whites in and start the meringue. As you can see, we've got a nice little froth on our egg whites. So at this point in time, this is where we want to start adding the sugar, a little at a time. Okay. As you can see, we're halfway there with our orange drizzle. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the ½ teaspoon of orange emulsion. Wow, the cake took less time than this is to come out of the bottle. Ah, here we come. Okay, and make it a nice big one. If you're using orange extract, use a little less. Okay, and then we're going to add the orange juice, a little at a time. Okay, there we are. Okay, and as you can see, it's turned out to be a really beautiful emulsion here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start drizzling this over our cakes. So, and don't be afraid to load it up because that's the reason why we prick these cakes is so that this could soak into them. If you're having any problems getting it to soak, just prick them a little bit more. But we're going to fill each of these up to the rim. And you're going to need to do this probably a couple more times. How are you going to know when you've got the right consistency? Well, you're going to go ahead and you're going to just touch them. And once they're loaded with the liquid, the drizzle, then they'll become very, very moist. You want them to be moist, but you don't want them to be leaching the liquid. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these, and then we're going to go to the next step. Well, we're halfway through the recipe, and you're probably wondering, where's the Philadelphia cream cheese? Well, it's right here in this bowl. This is going to be both the filling and the frosting for our wonderful cake, and it's going to give it this nice velvety texture. However, over here, I've already beaten 3 cups of heavy whipping cream, and to that I've added a half a cup of powdered sugar and 1 teaspoon each of vanilla extract, pure vanilla extract, and also the orange emulsion. So I've beaten this so that it holds nice soft peaks. You don't want it to be really stiff. I'll show you why. So let's get back to our cream cheese, and to this 8 ounces of cream cheese I'm adding a half a cup of powdered sugar, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon, a nice big one, of the orange emulsion, and I'm going to mix this together, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't noticed, I'm using my pink whisk, and that's in honor of breast cancer awareness. So now let's take my pink whisk, and I'm going to fold in about half of the whipped cream mixture to start with, and we're going to fold that in. And you don't have to worry about being real careful with this. The cream cheese really holds it together. Okay, we've completed combining our 2 cream mixtures, and I'm going to taste this. That is so good. You know, for those of you who are old enough to remember Orange Julius, this is absolutely going to be your cake. But remember, the cake is named the Mandarin Cream Express. So we've shown you the Express, I've shown you the cream, so now I'm going to show you the Mandarin. And what I have here is just canned Mandarin oranges that I've drained thoroughly. And for the ones that I'm using on the top of the cake, or cakes I should say, I've put those on paper towels because you want those really, really well drained, because you don't want those leaching into the frosting. So now I'm going to take 4 nice sized tablespoons. Actually, 3 is going to do it. And I'm going to fold the cream mixture into the Mandarin oranges. It only takes a second. And now we are ready to fill our cups. And I'm going to go ahead and stick about 4 of them into each of the cups. You can be a little more generous if you like. And then we're going to top these, and as you can see how nice and moist they are. So we're going to stick this on top of here, and I'm going to move this whole thing over to my little decorating plate. I'm going to put the lid on this one. And aren't they cute? But look, you can see how moist they are. You can just see that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish these, and then I'm going to go ahead and frost this one for you. Well, I think we all know how to frost a cake, so I've completed this. And basically what I did was just frost it, and then I used just a pastry bag with a standard pastry tip, and I did little florets over the top, and then I took the little Mandarin orange segments, and I like to use odd numbers, and I put them on top of this. Now, you can serve this cake just as it is, but when I bring it to the table after I finish the others, I'll show you some other decorating tips. Okay, as you can see, they're all done, and look at how festive the platter looks, and look at how creative that you can be with these little cakes. They will serve too, unless you don't want to share. And speaking of sharing, there were 6. Okay, where's the other? Hand it over. All right, the out-of-control crew is getting hungry. But I'm glad that they did, because I want you to see just how beautiful this cake is on the inside. So how moist it is. All right, well, you started it, you might as well finish it. In conclusion, I really would like to say thank you to Paula Dean and to the craft people for this great opportunity. Thank you so much. And oh my God, here he comes again with that clapboard. Never mind, it's a wrap.